What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So what we got here is 10 WWE teases that disappointingly went nowhere. Now, the only thing that I hope, that I'm praying to the wrestling god, does not happen is the next time they make a list like this next year is that CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and The Rock versus Roman Reigns do not end up on that list. But we got Triple H at the head of everything, so he's gonna make sure we're okay. Now, before we get started, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this.
It's common practice for WWE to tease future storylines and characters on Raw or SmackDown. This is done to whet the appetite of fans and give them a subtle hint of what's to come in the future months.
Whet the appetite?
Over the years,
Why
WWE has been prone to
like
deliver
that?
a tease, and that tease ends up leading to absolutely nowhere. Whilst the tease itself can be quickly erased from the memory of the fans, often the tease is for something truly epic, and WWE are called out for failing to deliver any type of meaningful follow-up. This isn't always WWE's fault, as the nature of pro wrestling means that things can change in a moment's notice, and WWE can be forced to go back to the drawing board and cancel what was going to be an exciting and compelling creative direction. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 WWE
Alright, let's
teases
fast forward
that
into
went
the
absolutely
content,
nowhere.
guys.
Number 10, Triple H versus
Oh
Bray
yeah,
Wyatt.
I remember this tease.
Teasing a heel versus heel rivalry is always risky because the fans may be confused to who they're exactly supposed to be rooting for. However, when WWE teased Triple H versus Bray Wyatt in early 2016, the reaction from fans was a clear indication that this was a match and a feud that they wanted to see. The tease itself took place on March 7th, 2016 edition of Raw, and after the Wyatt family had annihilated Ambrose, reigning WWE Champion Triple H's theme song would hit. Before Wyatt exited the ring, a stare down between he and the game ensued, and the crowd came alive. Wyatt would even stroke Triple H's WWE title, potentially hinting that he was coming for the game's gold. Unfortunately, WWE never had any plans to follow up the tease, and the two decorated stars never even got a featured feud in WWE. Number 9.
WrestleMania, are y'all doing this on purpose? Y'all trying to like use these words to try to be funny? Like water the appetite, throat his title. Like why are they saying it like this? But at the end of the day, I do remember when this tease happened. They set this up like literally like it was supposed to happen. All they were missing was a time, a date, and a poster. That's the only thing that was missing. So it's kind of weird that they didn't do this. RIP to Bray Wyatt, by the way. So I don't know. I kind of thought this would be a very interesting to happen, but of course it didn't happen.
An intergender wrestling return. One of Dean Ambrose's final storylines in WWE was supposed to be a feud with Nia Jax. This would have seen WWE bring back intergender wrestling, and it was supposed to lead to a match between the two at a live event. WWE would heavily tease the matchup on Raw, yet it was apparent that both looked uncomfortable with what WWE had booked them to do.
Yeah, I remember this.
According to Jackson, in an interview with Renee Paquette, the scripted teases led to utter confusion both from herself and Ambrose was fully aware that WWE were trying to punish him just before he left the company.
I remember getting the script and they were just like, yeah, you're gonna come out, and I was like, so wait, am I gonna start wrestling the guys? Like, and I'm like, what's going on here? And they're just like, yeah, you know, we think this is kind of cool. And I was like, I don't know. And then I go to John, and I was just like, dude, I don't feel comfortable with this. Like, how are you? And he was like, it's all right. You know him, he's like, it's all right, whatever, dude. It's like, he said, he's like, yeah, whatever. They're just trying to get me. And to me, I'm not the kind of person to where like, if in a wrestling thing, like I just don't think I should be able to hit somebody and they don't get to hit me back. Do you know what I mean? Especially because it's an entertainment thing. I thought it was so weird, and I know John didn't feel comfortable. He's like, I don't want to hit you.
Jax continued on saying,
they had like advertised us on a live event.
Yes.
Having a match, and I was like, what the heck is going on here? I was like, are we doing this? And I thought at first I was like, it's kind of cool to do intergender matches. Like that would be actually super cool if we can go that route. And if anybody who's amazing and has like an incredible resume, it's John.
Yeah.
But I'm like, does he want to do this? Is this where we're going? And then I don't know what happened. Somebody said like the state that we were supposed to be working in didn't allow intergender matches or some crap like that. I don't know.
I didn't know that was a thing.
And then it just went away.
Number 8.
I didn't know that was a thing, but I will say this, guys. I know a lot of people don't really like Nia Jax because obviously she basically committed attempted murder in the ring with a lot of these women. But I respect her for this because she said she's willing to do it and that she doesn't want to do it if the other person can't hit her back. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay for a guy to hit a woman, right? But it would have been kind of hypocritical for Nia Jax to say, I don't want to be involved in a match where I could potentially get hurt, when, like I said, she committed attempted murder on all these other women and then turned Becky Lynch's face into a strawberry gusher, had her leaking like an old faucet, and then turn around and say, I don't want to get hit by somebody who's stronger or faster or bigger than me. Like that would seem kind of hypocritical in concept. But again, I don't agree with guys hitting women. I'm 1,000% against that. I don't think anybody should hit anyone, but I am okay with intergender matches, of course, if the woman and the guy are okay and consenting to the match and understand what's going on. They have intergender matches all over the place, especially in the independent circuit. They have them at Impact all the time. Most of Jordan Grace matches are like independent, or not independent, but intergender matches. But I won't lie, there's some intergender matches I see on the independent scene where the guy gets a little too aggressive, like he going a little bit too hard, and it makes me cringe. And I'm like, God dang, bro, I don't know if I should be watching this. Like, it like dude has been waiting to hit a woman, and he's getting a little too excited about this moment. But I mean, that's just me. That's the wrestling world. But again, I have to respect Nia Jax in this aspect for this particular situation.
AJ Styles goes rogue. In late 2018, WWE aired a segment which led to speculation that WWE were going to build towards a rivalry between AJ Styles and Vince McMahon. In the segment, AJ and McMahon met backstage, and McMahon would pretend to be unaware of who exactly AJ was.
Oh, that's when he
claiming
slapped
that he and AJ have similar traits. McMahon would declare that he wanted to see AJ's inner animal, and then in a dramatic moment he would slap the former WWE champion across the face. AJ would then respond by laying out the WWE chairman with a vicious punch to the utter shock of fans worldwide. Ultimately, the segment and the tease of the feud.
He slapped him so hard he tried to check what time it was.
Punch to the utter shock of fans
like,
worldwide.
Vince, you ain't gotta watch on him, bro.
Ultimately, the segment and the tease of the feud between the two was quickly erased from the history books, as WWE failed to mention the segment.
Thanks for hitting my daddy.
Number 7, Batista vs. Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah,
Batista
I wanted this to happen.
Brock Lesnar is surely a match and program that WWE would have booked at some point in time. Yet surprisingly, the two have never had an extended rivalry. This appeared like it was about to change in 2014 when WWE would tease a future rivalry between the two during a segment on Raw, and the response to the tease was overwhelmingly positive. During a promo exchange between Batista and Randy Orton, Lesnar along with Paul Heyman would interrupt and chaos would ensue. Heyman would inform authority figure Brad Maddox that Lesnar either wants a match with Orton or Batista. When the idea was thrown out that the fans may see Batista versus Lesnar, the mood changed in the arena and there was a tangible excitement. Sadly, the match never took place, and with Batista officially retiring in 2019, there's now no chance that the match will ever take place in a WWE
Why didn't it happen
ring.
though?
Number 6, CM Punk vs. Stone Cold Steve Austin. One of the dream matches that fans have always wanted to see is CM Punk vs. Stone Cold Steve Austin. The two characters are vastly different, and this in turn would make for one compelling money-making feud. WWE successfully teased a dream match on 2 separate occasions. The first time was in 2011 during a memorable backstage segment on Raw, and the two had a rather comedic interaction. The segment, as expected, received a noteworthy response from the crowd. The teasers for an eventual feud between the two continued when the two took part in a sit-down interview with Jim Ross to promote WWE 13. This interview was intense and raw, and it looked like both men were trying to sell a match rather than simply promote a video game. The interview received widespread praise, and now there was even more buzz to see the match take place. But ultimately, the match never happened, and the promotional interview was the final time that the two legends would share the spotlight together. Number 5.
I remember when that happened. I didn't believe that this was promoting a match between the two guys. I didn't feel like that was going to be the case. Sorry, guys, people are texting me. I didn't believe that was going to be the case. So I'm kind of surprised that that's on the list. But I guess if you think about it, and like it makes sense that people would assume that will turn into a match. Who cost Finn Balor
the Universal title? It was common during the old era of WWE for the company to make bold booking decisions and figure out the fallout at a later date. When WWE booked Demon Finn Balor vs Roman Reigns for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view in 2021, they needed a way to protect Balor whilst keeping Reigns as Universal Champion. WWE's idea was to have Balor about to perform his trademark coup de grace, only for the rope to magically snap out of nowhere. This was a unique finish, and it was heavily teased that somebody was behind cutting the rope, and fans hoped that this would be explored in the coming weeks and months. But WWE never had any plans to explore the tease, and the rope breaking was only implemented as the match finished to protect Balor's demon persona. Footage from the fans in attendance made it clear that it was a production team member who cut the rope, and of course it was only fitting that WWE received backlash for failing to follow up on what could have been a strong storyline for Balor's character.
I thought that was so stupid, even though I knew that he was going to lose that match. I was like, why are they going to have him come out as the demon if he's going to lose this match, let alone lose from falling off the top of falling off the top of the rope after a snap? Like, why would you do that? And then the demon has been taking L's left and right ever since then. So I don't know, man. It was a weird choice. I get if they were going to do that, they shouldn't have used the demon. It's after he left NXT, the demon was used in so many weird situations where they shouldn't have, and it just kind of reduced the importance of it. I get what Finn Balor said about how he feels about the Demon, but what they did with it in NXT, the perception of the Demon was this heightened, stronger, faster version of Finn Balor that had a higher probability of winning these matches. But after he came to the main roster and started losing matches as the Demon, it was like, bro, why are you even using a Demon? It's just weird.
Games up for Roman Reigns. Upon re-signing with WWE in 2022, Karrion Kross was instantly presented as a foil for Roman Reigns. Kross made his debut attacking Drew McIntyre before placing an hourglass in the ring, and in the ring just so happened to be the Reigns and the Bloodline. Kross would then point to his wrist, signaling that time is up for Reigns and his historic title reign. But it goes without saying that this was an incredible return, and it made Kross look threatening within a few short minutes. The obvious tease was that WWE were going to book Kross versus Reigns, yet this never transpired. It's never been explained why WWE failed to book the match, and it's entirely possible that it's due to Kross's difficulty in connecting with the audience since returning to the company.
Yeah, like Kross versus
the
Shinsuke.
legends collide. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, it can be the case that WWE has every intention of following up on a tease only for real life events to get in the way of their creative plans. WWE would heavily tease The Rock vs Triple H on a number of different occasions, including a memorable segment on SmackDown in 2014, as well as an acclaimed segment at WrestleMania 31, which also included Ronda Rousey. These teasers were intended to build towards WrestleMania 32, as WrestleMania in Dallas was going to see the two legends face off for one final time. During an interview with TalkSport, the game revealed that the match was cancelled due to the scheduling conflicts with The Rock. I don't remember the details of it, but it was one of those things that The Rock and I talked about to the point where we did the backstage promo. Let's throw a scene out there and see what happens. It blew up, so we talked about it some more, then scheduling just got in the way. At that point, we were over a year away from that WrestleMania. It wasn't until maybe 4 months of the following year we got to that, and Rock goes, "It's just not going to work. I just can't. All of my stuff, my movies and everything has changed. I just can't make it work anymore." It was what it was. I would love to have done it. It would have been a blast to step in there with him one more time and tear it up. Number 2, Seth Rollins' babyface turn. The 2022 Royal Rumble saw former Shield brothers collide as Roman Reigns defended the Universal title against Seth Rollins. Outside of a lackluster DQ finish, the match was excellent as the chemistry between the two was incredible, and the post-match angle led to an exciting tease for future storylines. Once the match was over, Reigns brutalized Rollins with a steel chair to the shock and horror of 40,000 plus fans in attendance. It's worth noting that Rollins was still firmly a heel at this point, and this was seemingly supposed to tease a babyface turn and tease the idea of Rollins coming after Reigns for revenge. Although Rollins has been absolutely annihilated, his character brushed it aside the next time he appeared on WWE TV. It was disappointing to see that there was no babyface turn and there was no desire from Rollins to exact revenge. And number 1, Hulk Hogan vs Stone Cold Steve Austin. WWE had numerous chances to book Hulk Hogan vs Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2002, yet due to a variety of reasons, the match never took place. It appeared like all hope was lost in seeing the two icons of WWE collide, but that was until 2005, when the teasers for a match between the two began to surface. The first tease was at the Raw Homecoming show in 2005, when during a promo from Hogan, out of nowhere, Hogan would call out Austin and outright challenge him to a dream match. This received a gigantic response, and logic would assume that Hogan wouldn't tease the match in such a direct manner if WWE weren't actually going to deliver it. The next tease came at the Hall of Fame ceremony in 2006. Austin was inducting Bret Hart, and Austin would briefly divert away from focusing on Hart to addressing Hogan on the stage by stating, "You know what's funny? I was going through my bag in the back. I couldn't find something. I lost something. I went into the back looking through my bag and I found a can of whoop ass, and it had Hulk Hogan's name on it." Although the teasers created significant buzz, they ended up leading to nothing, and the two never had a 1v1 matchup in WWE. But there you have it, folks. 10 WWE teases that went.
Would you guys have wanted to see a Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Hulk Hogan match? I think it would have been pretty interesting. But I'm kind of glad we got that match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens. I thought that was pretty cool. But at the end of the day, I also feel like that the Karrion Kross thing wasn't really disappointing. I mean, for him to come back and instantly have this feud with Roman Reigns, he was just going to do it to take an L. I don't think they had a character built well enough for him to take whatever Roman Reigns had to say on the mic to make sense and work well with whatever was going on with the bloodline at that time. So the best thing to happen was for him not to face Roman Reigns at all, because the last thing you want to do is for him to have a terrible feud with Roman Reigns, get beat, and then the fans don't want to see him again. So hopefully they figure out what they want to do with him now. I saw the promo video or the video package he had, I think it was 2 weeks ago. It looks pretty interesting, but hopefully they figure out. Now, what I'm really kind of hoping is that if they find a way which is a low probability of this happening. I did a video of people I was hoping to come to WWE. One was Deonna Purrazzo. We saw her she debuted on AEW last night. I was hoping that they find a way to get Sami Callihan over because Karrion Kross and Sami Callihan has a friendship, and I think they will work well as a tag team or start a little faction with those two and Scarlett Bordeaux. I think that is going to help him be a little bit more interesting. But him as just a person, as an individual, I don't think they have enough to make it work. I think he has the acting chops to do that. We've seen him do that in video packages, but I think WWE can't figure out what they want to do with him. I think he has the Lacey Evans-itis. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Salute, peace, have a good day.